Hello, everyone. It's Sandra from Inspired Keys, and I just wanted to pop on to YouTube Live right now to share some thoughts from serving for the very first time in my new church, Crossway Baptist Church, yesterday. And the whole purpose of doing this is because I think it's really important to just reflect every single time we have served, whether we've served for the first time or 1,000 times, and just recollect all the experiences we've got after having a good rest, of course, and just learning from mistakes or just consolidating what was good and what should be done again. And I would love to even hear your thoughts after you serve. So if you want to share your thoughts, go ahead and share it inside the Inspired Keys community Facebook group. And that's at facebook.com/inspiredkeys. Or if you're an Inspired Keys Academy member, go ahead and share it inside the members only Facebook group as well. Facebook.com/inspiredkeysacademy. And yeah, so it is Monday night. It is 8:42 p.m. in Melbourne right now, and it's been almost an entire day after serving yesterday, and I just had a good time of rest. I had a good time of reflecting, and I've got a little Evernote here with all of my thoughts that I am about to share, but I would love to, I see that there's a few of us watching, so I'd love to know who you are and where you are from, and yeah, just it's awesome to see who I'm talking to, and if you guys have any Worship Keys questions, you're also very welcome to type it in, and I will see if I'm able to answer your questions as after I share about yesterday's service. So for those of you who don't know, we moved to Melbourne last year, and after a long time of seeking God, we finally settled in a church called Crossway Baptist Church, a wonderful church. And I finally had the opportunity to serve last weekend. And it was very eye-opening for me because it's, a new church, new culture, new country even. So yeah, never expected myself to be able to play in Australia, but it happened yesterday and it's so cool. I just wanted to capture the moments and also the lessons learned and stuff. So first up, on the morning itself, I aimed to arrive sort of 10 minutes earlier than the supposed call time. But when I parked my car, I was told by a person from the church that that's actually not where the volunteers park. The volunteers have to park at another car park, which is slightly further away. So then I'm like, wow, I'm glad I planned to come early, because having to repark the car took another 5 to 7 minutes. So I was like, wow, it's pretty important to come early, especially if it's your first time serving in a church, in a new church. So yeah, that was an interesting thing to experience right in the first thing in the morning. And we are talking about 7 a.m. So really early in the morning. But I figured something was wrong when I parked my car and I saw that I was the only car parked. I was like, I can't be the first volunteer to arrive this morning. So yeah, that's the reason why. And then it was really cool because as I went in and, being all new and stuff, I was wondering, okay, so where do the musicians put their bag and where do we go? Yeah, what happens? Who goes where? Okay, so anyways, so another person from the church showed me lockers with key, and you could just keep your bags in the lockers. And I was like, wow, I feel like I'm at the swimming pool, and it's awesome. It's awesome knowing that you could be serving on stage and your stuff is well kept. So yeah, I make good use of the locker, and I just think that it gives me a peace of mind that my stuff will not be stolen, because clearly I won't be able to check on them as I'm on stage. And another really cool thing is the fact that in this church, they actually provide the volunteers backstage with breakfast. I mean, we're talking about serving from 7, the call time was 7:20 a.m. and we finish at 1 p.m. So that's a very, very, very long morning. And I was absolutely surprised to see, I think it was like cheesy, melty wraps with like heaps of spinach and ham. I'm like, this is the first time I'm serving in a church where breakfast is provided, and it's awesome. In my to-do list, or I mean to-pack list for the night before on Saturday, one of the things have always been breakfast. So I still remember when I was serving in a church in Malaysia called X Church, we would have to report at like, I don't know, I remember waking up at 5:30 in the morning. It was just crazy. And I would have had breakfast that I've already packed from the night before, like this extremely thick cup of Milo, and even, just bringing it, throwing it into my bag and running to the car and just driving off and hoping to find 5 minutes during the course of the morning just to stuff food into my mouth. But here we've actually got breakfast provided, and it's like I brought a little bit of snacks in my bag, which I never needed to use because they provided food. It's so awesome. So yeah, I was kind of like, okay, great, let's indulge. So I managed to have a bit of time to eat the wrap, which was delicious, while getting to know some of the other musicians during that time. And gosh, there was bananas, grapes, and there's even like, when you go to an airport lounge, there's drinks like coffee and tea and hot water and milk, and there's a fridge with drinks inside. Yeah, there's all that. I was like, okay, this is really, really comfortable. So they're really nice and being very, very generous with all that. And of course, within our church itself, there is a really cool cafe. It's got nice coffee. It's got cooked food. And it's just so comfortable. Like you could just go there and buy food, and it's really just a stone's throw away. So you could just walk over and make yourself comfortable. Everything's just within very close proximity. So I'm just really, really thankful for, wow, just such a nice and homely church to serve in. I also like how there is a very good, clear plan for what happens after each service. There are 3 services that we play in, and after the first service, we are told that we should sit in to the service so that we could listen to the message. And then after the second service, we are told that, okay, we could hang around and chill and go eat food, go walk around, and then just be on standby to go back to play the response song. And then after the third service, we are then told to gather backstage and have a sort of, I guess the word is debrief, just have a session of just coming together and discussing how we felt spiritually about the service and what God was doing, and whether what we prayed for when we first gathered in the morning at 7+ a.m., whether God did and answered the prayers that we prayed. And so I thought that was a very nice, clear communication, because I've served in churches where it's not really clear what musicians do after service. So some musicians just disappear and you don't know where they are. Some have gone out to buy food. Some like sitting and listening to the message. So it's all like everyone's all over the place. But I like that the leadership was very clear and we were told about this, and it was just really good and organized. And I like the coming together at the end. I just think that it's good to come together at some point. And in this context, we were able to come together before and after. So when we all first arrived at about 7:30 a.m., we got together and we were told all these things about what we should do after each service. And we were given just a quick round of announcements before we really started the sound check. So I really like that as well, just coming together. I am very glad that because I prayed, God, please help me to find my IEMs, I managed to find my IEMs in-ear monitors. So I've got a Shure SE215, and that just kind of disappeared for a few weeks. And then I realized, oh, it's been like in that drawer all this time. I just never bothered to search deep inside the drawer. So I'm so glad I found it. And yes, so now I'm going to talk about what it was like when service started and when we started playing. So this is a phenomenon that I think if you have served with avioms or whatever system you guys use to listen in your in-ears to the live sound, and you manually adjust levels and stuff from other musicians. If you've experienced that before, I phenomenon of everyone getting louder when the service starts, right? It's like during rehearsal, I could hear myself clearly. Everything was like, okay, my levels are just nice. And then once we start service and everyone's like actually playing the song, my goodness, I couldn't hear the click track. Like the click track was nice and comfortable. At some point, I was like, I don't even know what tempo I'm playing anymore. It was really high risk. Like, man, I couldn't hear the click track. At some point, I couldn't hear myself. Like, what is this sound I'm making? Is it a high or low cutoff? Do I even sound like a synth now? Or is this a pad? Yeah, so at some point I just felt like, gosh, I really need to adjust the levels. But the problem was my avioms were very far to the right, almost at the back. So what I did not foresee was the fact that I would have to play and then try to like reach for my avioms and adjust levels, which was a very, very high risk because you know how most of the songs have like frequent chord changes. And as the synth player, because I'm like the thick substance in between the song, you know, like providing the atmosphere and stuff. So I can't really lift up my fingers a lot. So that's where the sustain pedal came in handy, but that can only do so much because that buys me 2.5 seconds. So then I quickly reach to the aviom and I sometimes manage to adjust levels and sometimes I don't. So it's like, okay, I need to come back to play the next chord. And as I play the next chord, it's like mistakes. And I'm like, oh gosh, that's terrible. So I just had to bear with the wrong levels in my ear quite a lot. And that was not very smart. So on hindsight, I'm like, I think the next time I need to put the avioms much closer so that hopefully it's a situation where I play and okay, I need to change stuff. I just reach for it here instead of there. So yeah, just thought to self, like next time if I can, I'm just gonna have to readjust a few things. Yeah, so then the levels got really loud during those loud songs. But then when it was the quiet songs towards the end of the worship set, then everything just went whack again because now my click track suddenly just became like deafening in my ears. And I'm like, gosh, I am going deaf. I need to turn my click track down. So then I need to readjust stuff again. So anyways, I'm like, gosh, this phenomenon, I just don't know. Because I experienced this in my previous church where I served with avioms as well. And then this church, same thing. So I don't know. Maybe it's just something that I got to live with. If you are watching this and you have any suggestions, please, please, please share it with me. Because I might just be, I'm pretty new with this aviom thing. I've only like, I mean, not a whole lot of time. So yes, if you have a hack for me, please share it. Yeah. So anyways, one huge learning factor, and this is probably what I'll conclude with, is the fact that I realized that I was seriously lacking in stamina. Like, it's one thing to enjoy playing keys and be able to play keys, but it's another to stand and play keys. And plus the keyboard was, because it's a shared keyboard, so I can't really adjust the height of the keyboard. It was in a position where I was literally like semi-bending forward the whole time. And I've got to play for 3 services plus 3 sessions of response songs. Plus, I have the wonderful honor, we as keyboardists have the wonderful honor of playing most of the time during announcements. Especially during prayer, right? Because it's like, you know, you're the instrument that creates that nice and quiet, reflective sound, worshipful, pad sounds. So while I was just really enjoying and savoring the moment playing it, it's like by the 3rd service, I'm like, gosh, I felt this fatigue like my arms were tired, my back was a little bit sore, my breathing was getting shallow, and I noticed that even my concentration was kind of like I almost forgot song number 4. Like I finished song 3 and I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna start announcements. But then I realized, oh gosh, that's song number 4. Like when all that started happening, I was like, I think I need to just get my game on again. Well, okay, let's put things into perspective. I did have surgery on the 20th of April. I did undergo GA and I did just recover from something pretty major, and I haven't been able to keep up with my cardio exercises. I do have a really big Thanksgiving to share. I just went to see my plastic surgeon this afternoon and she gave me the green light to swim and to run. Yay! So I now have permission to start doing my workouts again. But yeah, it's just it's a bit of a marathon if you have to serve 3 services in a row, and you do need good health to be able to just stand through all of that. Not that I stood all 6 hours, but it was a lot of standing during the 6 hours. So yeah, just on hindsight, I'm like, I really need to build my health again, just because I want to be able to, like, my goal for the next time I serve is that by the time it's the 3rd service, I gotta be as refreshed as I was in the first. Okay, perhaps there's been taking care of my 7.5-month-old baby. And you know what it's like when you live with a baby, right? When you're the one caring for the baby through the night, you wake up whenever the baby wakes up. So I did get woken up probably about 3 times during the night. And that definitely affects my daytime productivity and concentration. So I just wanted to just put it out there that perhaps all this was happening. And the last times when I served, like the very last time I actually served in church was when before I got pregnant. So this is the first time I'm serving as a mom, and it really is a game changer. It's like a lot of your life is different. Your body is different. I've just gone through treatment and surgery, so my body is really different. I have a baby who wakes me up a few times a night. That's really different. So just thoughts that I'm like, okay, just reconciling and consolidating as we go along. So yeah, that's all I have to share from my notes. And gosh, I have no idea how long I took, but let's have a look at people in their comments. And Ming is in the house. Hello, Ming. Good to see you. Joshua Marcus says, hi, Sandra. I'm Marcus. I'm a keyboard player, not professional, but I can do production stuff and in FL Studio, which is really cool. I just want you to help me learn basics and effective worship chords. Yeah. Joshua, go watch the video that I created called Awesome Chord Voicings. There are 2 parts to it. Go watch that. That's got a lot of effective worship chords hacks in there. Luis Fernando says, hi, Sandra, greetings from Spain. This is so cool. I've got people watching from Spain. So good to see you guys from everywhere in the world. There's a few more of you who's watching right now and you haven't introduced yourself. Please do. And please go ahead and ask any worship keys questions every time I come live. I do have something that I want to talk about every time I come live, but I'd also love to give you a shout out if you type into the chat. And I just want to conclude with the fact that I really love for you as a keyboardist, if you are watching this, and if you've just, whether you're watching this live or watching this as a replay, it would be awesome if we could just take a minute to just sit down and perhaps even just type a few bullet points into our notepads or our Evernote apps and stuff, just consolidating what we are learning as we serve. And every single time we serve, so that we can just keep getting better. And I'd love to hear your story if you served as well. I really want to know what it is that you learned. What was a disaster? Did something terrible go wrong? Did something terrible happen? I would love to find out, and I think the rest of us would as well. And that's the purpose for my Facebook groups. So if you are an Academy member, go ahead and share it in our members only Facebook group. If you are not, go ahead and share it in the Inspired Keys community Facebook group, which is at facebook.com/inspiredkeys. And I also do want to remind everybody that I am running a limited time dollar trial for the Inspired Keys Academy. So if you want to take your worship keys to the next level and you want to access training videos on a variety of worship keys topics, as well as access all my specific note view videos, and also get a chance to have your keys playing critiqued, and even possibly one-on-one lessons with me, and priority question and answers, then the Inspired Keys Academy is the place to go. Go check it out at inspiredkeys.com/join and use the discount code $trial. And remember, this is a limited time offer, so don't wait if you want to try and take the Inspired Keys Academy for a spin for just $1 for 2 whole weeks. And Manyin Lam says, hi, blessings from Manyin in Hong Kong. So good seeing you, Manyin. Thank you so much for your message. Ali Mwanza's in the house. Ali, good to hear from you. Hi, Sandra. Greetings to all. Inspired Keys from Zambia. It's been a long time. Came to say hi. Have exams, which is the reason why I'm silent. I'm in medical school and we have exams. Wish me luck. God bless. In Jesus' name, we pray for Ali to have the divine ability to just ace those exams. Ali, you can do it in Jesus' name. We can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. And Daniel, I'm not going to try reading your last name, but Daniel says, hi, Miss Sandra, just started learning keyboard. I would have some questions on your next live. I'm from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is amazing. Daniel, great to have you in the house. And I would love to hear from you. Now, go ahead if you wish. You can also just type a comment to this video so that I know what your question is. You don't have to wait till I come live, because sometimes I can only come live whenever I'm done with caring for the baby, or so I do plan to announce when I come live ahead of time in future so that you guys can set aside time. And I do have plans to come on a regular basis to just answer questions. And I also want to make sure that you come for the very basic main stage course that I am doing next Monday at my local time. It is 9 a.m. Stay tuned for that, because I will be announcing about that really, really shortly. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really, really appreciate your time here with me. And I look forward to speaking with you more. Go ahead and contact me at inspiredkeys.com using the contact form, or just leaving a comment at the end of this video. So thank you for watching, and God bless.